Invincible Season 3 is finally over, and honestly, I'm feeling really good. I will admit, I do have mixed feelings about the particular conclusion that they used, but I feel like in totality, this entire season was honestly really good. I mean, the Invincible comics is so dense and there's so many things that happened, so as you make a show, you really have to pick and choose what you want to prioritize and what you can cut out. I feel like the things that were prioritized were okay at times, such as the in-depth look into the alternate universe Immortal, as well as the stuff with the Order and breaking out Duplicate's brother. I feel like that was all kind of sidetracked, that took away from the meat of the really, the action scenes that really make the show what it is. I really enjoyed the final battle between Conquest and Mark this episode. One of my favorite things was how they truly animated the environment rather than the actual characters. It was cool to see how these such strong, literally two Superman level beings fighting each other had such insane destruction all around them, because obviously when it's going band for band, punch for punch, not a lot is happening, but their punches are literally destroying buildings at a time. Crazy how they had a mirrored moment to season 1 where Omni-Man is shoving Mark through all these people and killing them immediately, and yet the same thing happens here of Conquest, kind of contributing to that PTSD that Mark still carries with him till this day. I feel like the fight scene was really good. Out of the show, I think it's the best one we've seen so far, as Mark is the strongest and Conquest is the strongest foe that Mark has faced yet, and it really gave a great opportunity for us to see what Mark is capable of. One of the strongest Viltrumites in history in Conquest was literally praising Mark on his speed and his strength, and he was surprised, and although he was eventually defeated, he didn't feel like Mark was a worthy opponent that was worth his time. That gives credibility to Mark's development throughout this entire season. There's been so many parts where we've, as the audience, been upset that Mark isn't just beating everyone's ass and that he's been getting his shit handed to him. And I think that's because he really did not stop holding back until this episode, when he realized that, all this destruction has been on his account, his fault, and so he needs to turn the F up and go crazy. I really do love that they gave Eve her flowers in this episode. In the comic books, they skipped over that completely. Eve literally shows up, gets cooked, and then resurrects herself. But I feel like it was really cool that they gave her a couple scenes where she got to put her 1-2 clap onto Conquest, and especially like the air density thing, that kind of like an Avatar The Last Airbender airbending moment. And so I feel like that was really cool and super creative, something again that was not in the comics, but definitely an elevation from that. Cecil pisses me off. The fact that everyone was defending him at the beginning of the season and saying that Mark was tripping, please bro. This man Cecil had hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of regular reanimin. I know he didn't have the Invincible reanimin ready to go, but he had hundreds and hundreds of regular reanimin that were proven to kind of beat Mark's butt, and he had the sound, the frequency that can disrupt Viltrumites. Yes, if he had put all those in combination out in the field, that would have hurt Invincible. But this man literally said, his quote is, "We can be the good guy or we can be the people that save the world." And I feel like that's not him being consistent in his ideology. If that was me, if I was Cecil, I would have played that sound across the entire world, cooked Mark's ears, cooked Conquest's ears, and I would have sent out all 1,000 reanimin, if they're regular or not, to beat both of their asses. I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like that's not crazy. That's why Cecil be pissing me off. Looking ahead, I feel like the potential storylines they gave us for season 4 kind of disappointed me. Like, I want to see Omni-Man and Alan. There's so much that those two need to accomplish before we will see them meet up with Mark. And I feel like they're kind of slowed that part down so much. I think the biggest reason for that is budget concerns. It is really well known that Amazon does not give Invincible that big of a budget, so they have to skip out in certain parts. And having J.K. Simmons and Seth Rogen come to voice even a 30-second part probably is a lot of money, so they want to kind of leave that out. Personally, I don't like the Damien Darkblood thing. I feel like that was a waste of screen time. There's definitely so many other stories that they could have involved, and I wasn't really interested in that. The Sequids, obviously that's going to be a big storyline going forward, and so I'm glad that they kind of alluded to that. But really, it makes me think back to season 1 finale, where they just showed us like 8 different directions that they're going to go in season 2, since in the comic books there's really like 10 things happening at once, and so you need to keep in mind. But I feel like the focus for this next season, season 4, was really narrow and limited coming off the finale of this season. There's so much content in the comic books, and the comic books are pretty lengthy, and so Amazon has at least 5 seasons ahead of them if they do not start speeding things up, which I really hope that they do. I mean, we're barely halfway through Mark's story and we're already done with season 3. But I feel really confident that Amazon will keep this show around, since it is such a big thing. I mean, Invincible is really a media movement. I think that so many people are able to relate to Invincible in the sense of, you know, parents that don't see eye to eye with you or that have different expectations for you. And I feel like it is such an engaging story and TV show that hopefully will get more funding and more budget because it is really popular and so many people love it. I think that the audience is also so diverse. I feel like I know so many of my friends that watch it that don't look like me, don't act like me, but just have an interest in movies, superheroes, and TV shows. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this season because I know that I am still happy. I hope that there isn't too big of a break between the next. I'm almost 100% sure that they have already started working on season 4 since it was cleared a couple months ago. Please let me know down in the comments below your thoughts, and as always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe.